just as a reminder, I have looked at the video partly after recording it now. It's about 2 weeks later, and I realized, oh wow, I'm stuck in a loop, right? I've got loops. I've got that's the eights, that's the habits. Talking about women, that's like a loop. So I'm trapped in kind of like a spiral, looking for like a true wife. And so you need to look at your own life and to find your loops and break out. And that's why if you watch this video and you listen to what I'm saying and there are things that trigger you, then you have to look at yourself in this. In what way is it triggering you? What is the message for you when I'm talking about what I'm stuck at, right? That's how you should work with my content. Never just give in to judging anyone, that's too easy. You have to figure out why you feel inclined to judge and what your topic is and why it triggers you. That's how I've come so far. By constantly reflecting everything that's happening back onto myself. So somebody else's anger is in a way my anger because I let it get to that place. You get it? Right? You're throwing a stone, you're actually throwing it at yourself.
Okay, you see, I'm taking myself too serious. He didn't want shit. I thought he was stopping for me, but he was just waiting for his partner. And what's the message for me in this? Am I waiting for my partner? Well, I cannot say. I think in a way I am, because I'm just where I am all the time. I'm not going anywhere, I'm not sleeping around. I'm trying to get my strength back. I'm not really waiting for anyone. Actually, I am. And that keeps me trapped in the house. But at the same time, I have to move ahead. I have to be creative. I have to keep this show going. I have to keep myself busy. Because let's say, maybe you've met your wife for life, or you haven't, but you can count on it that she probably exists. And so, my idea is to simply work towards it, but to reject all women until the one that is closest to, being like my Shakti or something comes into my life. But then there's also things like, if it's a spiritual wife, will she stay? And who's there for who, right? Is this something then till the rest of our lives? Or will she just leave when she feels like it? And that's the problem I have, like a real problem, which is why I basically reject all women. And the one that gets to stick with me through my tantrums is the one then that can live with me in the end, because I know what I have to give. And so what I have to give here is just walk barefoot and then pay attention. So leave your phone at home, leave your whatever, your ideas about how to walk at home, and just walk barefoot. I just looked at people walking barefoot I watched a couple of videos, probably not more than 5. I read Born to Run, which is a great book if you want to get into running, but also into movement and into, the history of shoes and how they make you sick. And so barefoot was clearly my way back to moving like a real human. And everyone who wears shoes, they kind of like, I can't even imitate it anymore. Right, it's like they're just weak. So I also stopped going to the boulder hall because it's a destructive fabrication and I would have to wear shoes that make you sick. And so I just stopped and just continued focusing on my own goal. And just, seeing how that's going. It's tough, that's all I can say. It's a tough road, but I have food at home, and I have a place that's dry, right? I can clean, and I can keep myself company. And if I have done all my work for 2025, right, I can write books or do something else, right? So I simply had to learn how to keep myself busy with things that actually help humanity to crawl out of the pit that they have dug with technology and basically the industry. So now we are away from mass production and overutilization, and we're back to the basics. So looking how much do you actually need? And so I am glad that I have eaten meat again, occasionally. And it is also my choice to then buy what is available to everyone. So I buy budget food because that's, it's for everyone, if everyone eats it, I just want to see if I can still be me. So that's basically my experiment. And so I'm trying to see this as a bit of a test. How much do you need? How far can you get? And what can actually stop you? Until now, nothing has actually stopped me, but I also make sure that I keep myself busy. So I'm not that, little weak kid anymore that's addicted to sugar. I'm the guy who overcame that and said, hey, I don't necessarily need sugar, but if it's in my mayonnaise, I can eat it. Okay, that's actually something. I did buy the cheapest mayonnaise and it was kind of like sickening, and now I bought the one that was a bit better and was a good choice. So I think I'm looking forward to a hearty meal which I have cooked myself, which is going to be just saying, what is it going to be? I'm actually afraid of meeting women. That's just something on the side, something that I carry, a lot of emotional pain. I am very afraid of meeting women. I am more afraid of there's women which I will just simply reject. Most of them. And I have a good reason to do so. Maybe because I'm actually looking forward to meeting someone else, but at the same time, I don't know, I also find women intimidating. While most women I meet, to me, are just like children. However intimidating they may seem, most of them are just weak, little kids, running around with their phones and thinking about how their butt looks like. Well, I'm all about spirit and spiritual enlightenment and freedom and moving on, and building a sturdy foundation for yourself. And this is why, if we talk about movement, whatever you want in your life, and my life is not simply that of a sadhu, which I have looked up the term recently. I'm more than like a Sikh. I think it's written S-I-K-H, which to me it seems to be one of the jobs that I will have a wife in this life. And I feel like I cannot say if it will be me that chooses this wife. Whoever I think it may be, I don't know, is just somewhere else with other people, but certainly not with me, which hurts me so deeply that I actually don't want to be with anyone anymore ever again. And that's the truth. That's how I feel emotionally. I felt like I opened myself to a woman and she just moved on, and I just have to work on this stuff, all these emotions that just come out of myself. And I just feel like all she's trying is to just hurt me all the time. Right? From a distance. So this is also about spirituality. This is about acknowledging that you are a spirit and that there are certain connections through spirit that you may perceive as very intense. I feel like all she wants is to like mirror me how good she's doing, but I know then my feeling says it's a lie. Right? She's just very good at creating an image of herself, but just the couple of weeks I spent with her, I already saw through her little games. And her games are like, you know, she always uses others to make herself feel better. But she never actually does anything that has like a real foundation. And that's basically just what you find in a lot of people. I just was sick of this masquerade of women acting like they got something while they actually wanted what you have, pretending that they have something that they wanted you to give them. You do know what I mean, right? And then they act like they got something that you want while it is what you have that they want. And so I simply stopped trying to run after women, because people can contact you in your mind. And they can even, right, if somebody has a strong mind, they can get you to do things, which is why I need grounding so that I can stay where I am. Right, I need to ground myself so I simply stop running after women or parents or whatever, because I needed to build something for myself. And this brings me back to barefoot and movement, to see how you move. You see yourself moving through a 3-dimensional space. So there's people, there's emotions. It's an energetic space. You're swimming through the ocean of emotion. Right, and then there come like the spiritual path is like that. Some of these obstacles are just emotional. It's never just emotional, it's emotional. Which is why it cannot be explained. It just is the way it feels, and then you have to deal with it. Which of course brings me back to Vrishikasana, which I just like saying, which wards off bad vibes from people. So I say, if there's a woman that wants to talk business, then she simply has to show herself and face me, because I think I'm probably the scariest thing for someone who's dishonest about everything, because they try to look cool. I no longer try to look cool. I have a furnace burning in myself, and I'm hot. So I am, however, cool in the original sense, because I know how to be in the center. But that's not phony. I have a fairly sturdy foundation, and I have a purpose, and I worked hard to find it. I worked hard to find what I actually like doing, and then I just had to keep doing it. Now sometimes I go to places, and then I go to other places, but sometimes I go to places and then I stay away for some time, and then I just do my thing. And I find this important. Now I'm being called home. It's also summer, so there's lots to discover, there's lots to experience. I feel like I just want to walk straight home, eat something, have a meal, but first I think I'll do my Vrishikasana pose to just ward off something. I feel like something is nagging on me, hurting me, and I find that a little bit disturbing, which is why all I can do then is to simply do what I feel like doing, which is find the spot that talks to me and then hold my ground, right? Otherwise I carry it all the way home. I simply don't want to. Okay. I think that's it.